afternoon, CMS families. Thank you for joining today's Family Academy Lunch and Learn, Online Safety, What Families Need to Know About CMS Device Care, Digital Citizenship, and AI. Please take a moment to sign in using the sign-in link that is shared on the screen and that has been added into the Q&A. bit.ly/Family Academy sign in. If you are in need of translation support on today's call, please use the captions feature located in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Select Captions, Show Live Captions, and from there you're able to select the language of your choosing. Once again, if you're in need of translation support, please select Captions, Show Live Captions, and from there you'll select the language of your choosing. And families, we are so excited to engage with you today, and we want to ensure that today's session answers all of your questions. If you have a question on today's call, please select the Q&A feature in the top right-hand corner of your screen. From there, a text box will appear where you can ask a question to one of our fabulous presenters. All questions will be monitored throughout the call and answered during the Q&A session at the end. Additionally, we hope that the information is valuable and that we are having some wow, aha, and connection moments. So please feel free to share any reactions you have on today's call, a thumbs up, a heart, or a clap using that react feature next to the Q&A. Our goal is to ensure that these sessions are meeting your needs and the information is valuable to our families. So please keep us informed of how we're doing and make sure that if there's any questions that we are able to answer them on today's call. And at this time, I am excited to turn it over to our fabulous educational technology team who will be guiding us through today's content.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Rebecca Leitinen. I'm the Executive Director of Educational Technology, and I'm joined by my wonderful team here that I'll let them introduce themselves. But we are super excited that you've joined us today and to share the information about technology so that you can help support your students at home. I'm going to pass it over to Melody Lamb, who will introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Melody Lamb. I'm Program Manager with the Educational Technology team, and I'll be monitoring the Q&As on today's call.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Erb. I'm the Senior Manager here on the EdTech team, and I'm going to be guiding you all through our presentation today. Thank you so much for taking time to join us. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into full present mode and, to start our presentation. So Molly has put in the chat our slide deck, and you can follow along with us. We also have it available here on the bit.ly on our main slide and a QR code that you can use after this presentation. So we're going to guide you through some tech support for CMS families, the resources that we have available to support you at home as it relates to our Device One-to-One initiative, digital safety, and CMS AI implementation. So I just wanted to put up here our placemat for all things guardrails and goals, our expectations here in CMS, and we're going to show you today how what we're doing here with technology aligns with our district goals. And we're going to dig into what our Device One-to-One initiative looks like at home for students. So students here in CMS, we have a Device One-to-One initiative, which means all students have been issued and assigned a device. So in kindergarten through second grade, pre-K through second grade, students have been assigned an iPad. And then in grades 3 through 13, students have been assigned a Chromebook. So we have students all assigned a device to empower a strong learning environment, equipping schools to learn on a device at school and achieve academic excellence. All right, so key resources to support students having a device in this initiative. We have our tech support for CMS families page. So this web page, we're going to look at this in more detail, but we have a web page for our family specifically with login support information, device care resources, troubleshooting. So that's going to be your first line of defense at home, and we're going to dive into that more here in a moment. We're also going to make you aware of our student technology agreement form, just give you a little bit more information about that. So this is a part of our student forms that all families must sign to begin the school year. So we're going to overview of the different components of the Student Technology Agreement form today. And then we're going to look at CMS Launchpad. So CMS Launchpad is the district's single sign-on platform, allowing students to access all learning materials and applications in one place with just one username and password. Your child can easily access all of their digital resources. So we'll look closer at the CMS Launchpad. And then device care, course, and lessons. So in order to ensure that each student has a working device, we want to make sure that they are aware of the responsibilities associated with taking care of the device and equip you as families to educate your child on how they can do that. And lastly, digital safety measures. So it is of the utmost importance of us here in CMS to make sure that we're protecting our students online. So we're going to talk about the measures in place to protect your student at home and at school online. All right. So some key terms so that you're able to understand the information that's being presented today is you're going to hear this phrase throughout the presentation, one-to-one. So when we say one-to-one here in CMS as it relates to technology, we're talking about each student has received a dedicated device to support their learning. So like I said on the previous slide, students in grades pre-K through second grade are assigned an iPad, and students in grades 3rd through 13th receive a Chromebook. So that is a part of our device one-to-one initiative. LMS, so you might hear this acronym as it relates to your student, but LMS stands for Learning Management System. So CMS uses Canvas to organize assignments, resources, and communications in one accessible space. So this is the district approved LMS to make sure that all of our students have access to the curriculum needed to support their learning. And then lastly, CMS Launchpad. So CMS Launchpad, also known as ClassLink, is the district's single sign-on platform, giving students easy access to all learning materials and apps with one username and password. So all of these key terms you'll hear throughout the presentation and will help you to know what vocabulary to use when speaking with your tech contact at your school or your child's teacher in understanding technology use at the school level. All right, so now we're going to look closer at the Tech Support for CMS Families webpage. All right, so Molly has in the chat for you a direct link to our Tech Support for CMS Families webpage, but you can also access it through this slide deck as you're following along. But we have a web page here in CMS for you to be able to access resources that we've consolidated as it relates to student devices. So those device care lessons, information about the device fee structure. So the device fee structure being a part of the Student Technology Agreement outlining fees associated with any damage to a device. We also have digital citizenship and AI literacy resources for families, and we're going to look more specifically at that here in a moment. We have a section with support guide and access. This is a very helpful section to help you troubleshoot at home, logging in, Chromebook support, all of those things, as well as CMS ClassLink and Launchpad portal. So lots of great resources there that we want to make sure that you're aware of and that you're using that web page at home and sharing it with other families. So you can access this clearly through the direct link that we provided, as well as you can navigate there from the Technology Services website. It's also on your school website under quick links. So a couple ways you can get to it if you lose track of this direct link, but we and your technology contact and teacher should be able to share this with you as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the CMS AI vision. So CMS, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, embraces artificial intelligence, AI, as a catalyst for learning for all. AI will strengthen rather than replace the role of all staff in delivering excellence across each of our 4 pillars: academics, people, operations, and engagement. Leveraging the perspectives and partnership of our families and community, CMS will lead in the safe and effective adoption of AI, preparing all for success. That is our CMS AI vision that can be found on our technology services webpage, and additional web pages for the public regarding AI, as well as we have a public-facing version of our CMS generative AI guidance document, really delving into detail about AI policy here in CMS and district expectations, so that you know what your student and the staff at your student school have available with AI. So to help you gain a better understanding and support your student, on our Tech Support for CMS Families page, you could navigate out to our digital citizenship and AI literacy in CMS resources. So from this page, when you navigate out from our Tech Support for CMS Families page, we have an overview of what digital citizenship and AI literacy and CMS curriculum entails. So this is broken down by grade level band. So in kindergarten through 5th, we have PDF versions of the digital citizenship and AI literacy lessons for families to review. Specifically in grades 3 through 5, at this time, the only AI literacy specific lesson is our What is AI lesson. So at this level, at the 3rd through 5th elementary level, we're just providing an introduction to what is AI, and our kindergarten through 2nd grade students, we're really building up their digital citizenship knowledge and skills first to prepare them for this next evolution into digital citizenship, which is what is AI. So we have all of those resources available in PDF format for you to review as a family member and to review with your student. And then in grades 3 through 13, you can view the curriculum available to your student as a Canvas observer. And we also have a dedicated parent course for you to review how you can support your child at home with understanding AI and other digital citizenship resources and tools. Also here in this breakdown, you can see what is AI is our 3rd through 5th grade focus. In 6th through 8th, these are some of the topics that your child will be learning about. What is AI? How is AI trained? And who's behind the screen? In grades 9 through 12, we focus on what is AI, understanding AI bias and how AI impacts our lives, AI algorithms, how well do they know you, and facing off with facial recognition. So you can see that we're building upon this AI literacy in each grade level band. And this is just general topics. Each grade level does have specific topics within, so that they are building upon as they go up in grade levels here in CMS. So we hope that you'll take some time to explore the lessons that your student is participating in at the school level, and that you'll have these conversations at home about how they should be engaging with AI, or at least at home, and just being aware of how AI is being used in our world at this time. So we have that link there for you to explicitly find those resources at your convenience. So our families course, I referenced, that was available there for you. So our CMS families course, CMS AI literacy course for families, introduces foundational concepts of artificial intelligence, including how AI works and its role in education. So we invite you to complete that course and just walk you through getting a more in-depth knowledge of these topics that we're going over today, and then to begin those conversations with your student about AI use. All right, and then of course we have our Family Academy on demand. So we encourage you to go back and look at other sessions that have been provided to support your child in digital use. So we have the Family Academy digital resources to keep your child learning at home, where you can see we had a coffee and chat earlier this year about that our CMS families course to review AI. So please go back and check out those resources here on the Family Academy page. All right, we're going to move on to the Student Technology Agreement Form. So the Student Technology Agreement form is a part of the student form signed at the beginning of the year. This form must be signed for a student to be issued a device, and especially before the device is allowed to go home. The Student Technology Agreement form includes acceptable use, as well as the device fee structure and any responsibility for cost of repairing devices damaged, lost, or stolen, as well as use of the device as it relates to an online environment. So we've got a real breakdown here. So we've, again, that student acceptable use policy, students' rules for using the CMS network or internet, consequences for unacceptable use, CMS student internet use agreement, device fees, rules and regulations, and responsibility for student assigned loan devices. So again, this is the first form within the student forms that you'll sign as a guardian, and this is located within Infinite Campus. If you have not completed these forms, you can work with your school to complete the forms in Infinite Campus, or you can request a paper copy of this form for a more in-depth review. All right, CMS Launchpad. So CMS Launchpad is our single sign-on. It provides seamless single sign-on access to a wide range of educational applications, eliminating the need for multiple logins. It's a personalized dashboard. It's a resource library. So it's a centralized resource library where educators can discover, organize, and share educational content and resources. So again, you might hear CMS Launchpad also referred to as ClassLink. And here's the icon here that you might have seen before or want to familiarize yourself with. So when you log on to CMS Launchpad, we have an image here of what the dashboard looks like. And users are able to personalize the dashboard. So there's a customizable dashboard that allows organization and access to favorited applications and resources. Educators can customize the dashboard to provide quick access to essential tools and resources for their classes. So this is a wonderful resource that we have in CMS to eliminate students needing to know multiple passwords and usernames. They can sign in one time and access all needed applications for their coursework. All right, within their single sign-on, they are able to access iReady. So iReady is personalized instruction offering students in reading and math lessons based on their individual school level and opportunities for improvement, so your student can learn at a pace that is just right for them. These lessons are fun and interactive to keep your student engaged as they learn. So you've probably heard about iReady from your child's teacher, but we have some, as it relates to technology, we have some troubleshooting resources that we wanted to share with you. So we have a family guide available in English and Spanish, an iReady family video available in English and Spanish, and understanding your students' iReady diagnostic results. So we just wanted to make sure you were aware of those additional resources to support in use of iReady. If you have more specific instructional questions or assessment questions about iReady, please be sure to contact your child's teacher. Okay, moving on to device care, course, and lessons. All right. So within our family resources section on the tech support for CMS family site, we have a device care family resources. So when you open up that device care family resources, we have some videos for you about device care, and then just a breakdown of what does device care look like for your child, as well as we've gone ahead and highlighted here in the resources, a quick link to the website again, the family resource, a printable resource so you can, if you wanted to, your child's school might send this home for you for review, and then that's broken down by grade level, K through 2 or 3 through 12. So the specific things that your student is learning about as it relates to taking their device are some of these care responsibilities. So we encourage all students to keep a charged device. So if their device is going home, they need to charge it at home before returning to school so that they have a device ready to use for instruction. We advise all students to keep food and drinks away from their device. So we know this is a a hard thing for students, but we want to make sure that the devices are in working condition. They're not getting sticky or dirty as they need to type and use them daily. Screen care. So in device care, they're learning to care for their screen by, keeping it clean with a dry, lint-free cloth. So if your child is bringing their device home and you see it is looking a little bit gross, go ahead and help them with cleaning that up. And then how to protect your device, right? So carrying the device with 2 hands. We talk about where to put it in the backpack, what carrying your device during classroom transitions should look like. And then that there's no device tampering that can happen. So even if your child is feeling very tech savvy, we don't want them trying to repair their Chromebook. So we have a process and procedures for that, for their technology contact and with our tech engineers to fix devices. We do not want students trying to attempt to repair a device or tamper with it in any way. So again, these lessons at K2 are facilitated by a teacher or a staff member. And then in grades 3 through 13, the lessons must be completed in Canvas. So this is also a prerequisite for receiving an assigned device to ensure that students are aware of the responsibilities related to caring for a device as outlined in the student technology agreement form. So we really want to educate our students on how to best care for their device so that we can have devices that are lasting longer and we have enough devices for instruction. So I referenced these videos. So we have 2 videos. We have a K2 video that is created with CMS, kindergarten through 2nd grade students, and they're modeling device care use with iPads. And then we have a 3 through 12 video that is modeling device care with a Chromebook. And again, both of these are made with CMS students at CMS schools, really showing your child how they should care for their device. So they should see these videos as a part of their device care lessons here at school, but it doesn't hurt to review this with your student to make sure they really know that you are enforcing what their teacher is saying for how they should care for their device, and that you trust them to be responsible for this, their device, as it is a great opportunity. All right, monitoring usage at school. So on our Chromebooks, CMS students' Chromebooks are monitored through Dino. So Dino is a classroom management tool for monitoring student activity on Chromebooks during school hours. Teachers and staff can view student screens in real time to ensure focus and productivity. So students do agree to that acceptable use policy, but we know that they can sometimes get a little distracted and move places they're not supposed to be when they're supposed to be doing coursework. So Dino is a great tool for teachers to keep students on track while they're using their Chromebooks. And schools are also able to monitor student devices in a brief window before and after school if they are participating in before or after school programs. Digital safety measures. All right, so internet filtering. CMS devices use the same internet filter, Zscaler, at home as they do at school. Students will need to log into Zscaler when accessing the internet at home from a CMS device for the first time. So we've gone ahead and highlighted here the resources available to log in to CMS Launchpad at home, which will include those steps for the Zscaler piece for login. So those are easily accessible here on this slide, as well as on our tech support for CMS families login instructions page. All right, so private versus personal. So we strongly recommend having conversations with your student about what is private and what is personal information. So these topics are embedded in our digital citizenship and AI literacy lessons, but it's great to have these at home as well and to model these behaviors, such as tech-free times, how we talk online, and privacy settings. So really educating your child about what is appropriate to share within the family or within close friends versus what is public knowledge that we want to be sharing out on the internet for all to see, and understanding that the internet, a digital space, is an open public environment, and we don't want to be sharing personal information that should be kept private. So talking with your child about what that looks like, and to help with that, we have some parent resources here from Common Sense Media, really emphasizing what is privacy and security and what could be shared publicly. So we invite you to explore those resources with your student, as well as we have a data privacy standards family resources for you to review as well, to help educate yourself, and for you to, like we said, model with best practices for your child. What should you be sharing personally versus publicly? All right. So we want to protect all of our students by monitoring the digital platforms that are available to students. So CMS ensures every digital resource meets data privacy standards and is aligned with CMS core curriculum expectations. All digital resource requests, free or paid, must go through the technology vendor approval process and be reviewed by the digital learning and data privacy teams. So this is of the utmost importance to CMS for two reasons. We want to protect our student and staff data, so that's from the technology side. And then CMS, we want to make sure what students have access to is in alignment with core curriculum. So the district really puts a strong emphasis on the curriculum development and what students are receiving. So we want to make sure any platforms or resources are in alignment with that intentional decision making. So those two pieces influence the platforms available for your child for use at home and at school through a CMS device. School-specific digital resources. So digital resources may vary between schools based on instructional needs and approved programming. Parent-teacher associations interested in providing access to digital platforms for schools must work with school administration to complete the technology vendor approval process. So if you, as a parent or guardian, have questions about this process, please reach out to your school and they can inform you more, so that we make sure that if you're interested in purchasing a platform for your school, it goes through the correct process and it meets those data privacy and core curriculum standards. And like this says, you can also learn about what your school has access to, because this does vary a little bit by school, and they'll help be able to advise you on that. All right, so we have gone over a lot today as it relates to device care and digital citizenship and AI literacy, and just wanted to remind you about these pathways for support. So if you are needing additional support with technology at home, we ask that you first contact your school's teacher or a staff member at your school that your child is associated with, and then they will then direct the question to the technology contact. And if the technology contact needs additional support, they'll reach out to the ed tech team. So just wanted to emphasize this pathway of support so that you are reaching out to the correct people for support at home. We want to make sure that you have everything that you need to support your child with their device and in a digital environment. So that was a lot of information. And I know Melody's been fielding some questions potentially in the Q&A. We're going to go ahead and open it up to additional questions. So if there are anyone that would like to have a question, we're happy
I think
to answer.
this might have been such a comprehensive and clear session. At this time, we have no questions in our Q&A. Families, thank you so much for joining us today. If any questions arise as you continue to navigate the support with your schools, I'd just like to re-highlight that wonderful pathway that Ashley went over. Always starting with your teacher is a great first step. From there, once you and your student have connected with your teacher, working with that building-based technology contact, and then reaching out to the ed tech team. If you have any questions through this process or need additional support, please feel free to reach out using the Let's Talk platform as needed as well. And we look forward to supporting you through your technology needs and through future Family Academy sessions. Thank you so much for your engagement in today's Lunch and Learn. We hope everyone has a wonderful day.